Good. Okay, we'd like to reconvene the October 2nd, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. I am still Jeff Benton. To my left is still Gary Merrill, and to my right is still Bud Lewis. Our commissioners today, and our representative is our county administrator, Jen Walry, is clerk today. So, we will reconvene the meeting, and the order of business for this afternoon at 1:30 is a drainage improvement petition project viewing. And I will go through the process here and explain to everyone what's going to happen today. First of all, let me welcome everyone to the viewing for the consideration of the Scioto Ridge Crossing LLC Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition. I have introduced everyone up here. We do have Chris Bauserman, our county engineer here, and I think that's all the elected officials. We're joined here today with representatives from the county engineer's office, other than Chris, as well as the Soil and Water Conservation District, to familiarize ourselves with the area. This is different than our normal viewings due to access and traffic safety concerns. The location and method of today's viewing of the proposed improvement area is taking place here at the office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 North Sandusky Street, Delaware, Ohio, with the use of video technology. Video will be available to gain an overview of the project limits and zoom into specific areas the landowners would like the commissioners to see. And let me just point out, it's very important to understand that there's no testimony or decisions made here at the viewing. This is a way for the board to become familiar with the area and for you to show us any drainage concerns that you may have in the area. The first hearing on the petition is scheduled for Thursday, November 30th at 10 a.m. And it'll be here. At the hearing, we will hear a report from the engineer's office on the petition, and that is also the time for testimony for or against the petition. We do have a sign-in sheet that we will circulate. If everyone would please sign that, I would appreciate it. With that, I will turn the proceedings over to Brett Bacon from the Soil and Water Conservation District and take us through the viewing there. Brett, please.
Okay. The packets that you have are going to have copies of everything that I'm going to show you except for the videos, of course. Okay. The first page, just what we've estimated and the first attempt at a watershed for the drainage area in question. If you will, south section line, you never see these things. South section line is here. Clark Shaw Road would be on the north. This parcel, large parcel here, would be the parcel that signed the petition. Just to give you some reference points while you're watching the video. Thank you.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the road culvert, which would be the outlet. We're standing looking east. We're not standing, but flying looking east at this point. Road culvert here would correspond to here on the map. This pond would be right here. Electric tower right here. End of lane that I've called it would be this point right here. Off in the distance, grove trees, and then this area up here to the east that's already under development would be up in this area right here. Okay? So the first video that I'm going to show will be from this height. Right now it's at 400 feet. So we're going to fly west to east, kind of give you a broad overview of the project area.
Hey, pretty good.
So the drainage would come from the area you see in the soybean field, would come down kind of parallel to that lane, kind of comes into the hay field or the field with the electric tower there and then flows towards the road culvert. Okay. The picture on the right is a picture from the road at the culvert entrance, just upstream of the culvert. You can barely make it out right here. There is a subsurface drainage outlet that comes from the field, comes down through, and outlet's right there at the road culvert. This next video that we're going to see is shot from 40 feet. Gives you a little bit tighter view of the potential project area. This is the exact same flight path though. Okay.
It's great use of technology. Who actually ran the drone?
Pardon?
Who did the drone?
Clint.
Okay. Great.
Was our pilot. Clint and Luke were the engineers on it.
Yeah. It's an interesting way of doing a property review.
Yeah.
And you get a very good overview.
The little hiccups in the video, that was not the drone, that's my computers.
No,
Just not having enough juice to,
Oh, I see.
lagging.
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
we put it on a desktop computer and it was perfect.
Okay. It seems fairly straightforward. We've seen some more complicated ones, I guess, is another way to say it.
There's grade from the field down to the outlet. There's not really a defined channel flow. Most of the flow, in my estimation, is more of a sheet type flow. There's not like a concentrated swale. Like I said, the subsurface drain comes out of the field and flows down to the culvert.
Typically, we are just observers when we go out to the sites. I don't know if there's anybody here
Yeah, had any,
point out anything to us as we would
Right.
typically do if we were going out to a site.
show us any drainage concerns you may have, any residents or anyone in the area who may have drainage concerns, or wanted to point something out from the video or anything else.
We can go back to the photos here.
Yeah, we do have photos as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody want to say anything? Well, we won't, you're going to...
I was just wondering, Ed Ross, I'm the owner of the property we're talking about right
Yeah.
here.
Okay, if you could go up to the microphone and just introduce yourself for the record, we're recording this.
Yeah, my name's Ed Ross. I'm the owner of the property there. And
Which property?
the 10 acre, both properties actually. My son owns
Okay.
the 5 acres, I own them 10 acres right there. I guess my concern is that it's always worked before for what we used it for. In the letter, it's telling how it's going to help us. I really don't see how it's helping me at all. We've really sat on it for 30 years, and it's always worked. I sold the property back in 11 to the Hope family, and they raised crops on it. So right now, it works for us. And it seems like they want to charge me to put this in. I can't see it.
Well, what we're here is just to...
I know.
We're not arguing for or against it at this point.
You know, at the time, Joe Thomas actually knew that he needed an easement from the Metro Group. He approached me and said, we're going to need to get a drainage easement from you. So, that was...
You need to be here for the hearing. They were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
that's all.
Any other comments? Okay.
Is there anything would you like me to play one of the videos again, or have you guys?
No, again, I'm familiar with the area, been around that a million times. Yeah, it is pretty straightforward, so.
And
It's-
what I like too, we can see the video, but then you've also
Yeah, we've got the
printed out.
pictures.
And so we can see, if you have questions, we can just refer to the
Yep.
pictures you gave us, which are very clear.
Okay. With that, we will wrap up the viewing,
Okay.
and that concludes the viewing, so we'll,
All right. And then the board has other business if they wish
Yeah.
to address that or
okay.
talk about that? Or?
Okay, so that ends the viewing of the Saddle Ridge Crossing, and we do have a couple other matters, Eric, that the owner's agreement for Evans Farm and the ditch petition for Evans Farm.
Ditch maintenance petition.
And I think we can we proceed with those then? Okay. We'll go ahead with those. I think everybody has a
Yes.
copy of the motion in front of them. So I'll ask
Earlier today, we skipped over resolution number 8. We have a slightly revised copy of resolution number 8 in front of us today. Resolution number 17-1027, in the matter of approving amendment number 1 to the owner's agreement with Evans Farm Land Development Company, LLC, for Evans Farm, Section 1.
So moved.
Second?
All right, discussion? Eric or Chris, if you could just bring us up to date on the amendment and so on.
Eric Hostetler, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. The amendment to the owner's agreement basically adds a few items to the existing owner's agreement for Evans Farm Section 1. Namely, it provides for off-site improvements, both directly adjacent to the development on Lewis Center Road, and then also provides for a security for additional off-site improvements for the larger development and the changes in the bonding to cover those obligations. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
So you're satisfied with where we are on this, with this?
On the amendment to the owner's agreement, yes.
Okay, okay. Now, the ditch petition is a separate resolution?
Yes, and that would be, well, do you want to vote on?
Oh, yeah, I just want to make sure I understood.
Yes, the ditch one
petition
is a
was not
separate
part of this.
resolution, yes.
Could you explain that again, the owner's agreement, Eric?
Yeah, there was an owner's agreement entered into between the commissioners and the Evans Farm Land Development Company, LLC, back in July, and that provided for the on-site improvements for Section 1, as shown on the plat for that section of the development. What it did not include was any mention of off-site improvements. There are certain improvements to Lewis Center Road at or near the access point for the subdivision on Lewis Center Road that are also required to be constructed because they are necessitated by the development of Section 1 itself. So those are added via this amendment. And then the amendment also discusses that there are certain other off-site improvements in the kind of larger scope for the entire development, for which the developer will be agreeing to their responsibility, an incremental share of that overall cost, and then it provides for a structure to bond for all of those improvements, which, once those bonds are in place, would enable the plat to be approved.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. No other questions? We'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-1027. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
And then for other business, this item was not listed on our agenda today. We have resolution number 171028 in the matter of approving the ditch maintenance petition and the ditch maintenance assessments for Evans Farm, Section 1.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
This is just a standard a petition that you see with all of our development projects that would place the drainage improvements for the development on the public county drainage maintenance system, and we do have the petition and the check for the first, the startup money for the first year's assessment. So I'm recommending approval.
Okay. And the petitioners are 100% of the property owners?
That's my understanding. They've affirmed so, and I believe them.
Okay. All right. Okay. Other questions?
No, thank you.
All right, we'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-1028. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Could Chris just ever say, I have a question. I'm not sure you're the right person to answer it, but I'll throw it out there. Where do we stand on the plat and the bonding?
I don't know, maybe Eric's a better person. So what I know, Eric told me, so it's probably better for him just to tell you.
Okay.
I actually was in a meeting over in my office. I have not had the opportunity to have a lengthy discussion with the developer or their legal team. So if you'd like to take a brief recess, we can have that conversation. We can come back and report where we are.
By brief, what are you thinking?
15 minutes?
Over there.
Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, we'll take a 15-minute recess, so we'll plan on reconvening at 5 after. All right, thank you. No.